mind your business, okay? What is it, in the club? We're all fam. You hard-headed, because I did say no questions. Guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I actually haven't did one of these in years. The last time I remember doing a Q&A was when I was pregnant. That was a very long time ago. So I asked my Instagram, and then I also asked my YouTube community if they have any questions for me, personal or reseller related. And to be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to be this many. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all of them in one video or split it in two videos, but we'll see. But the very first question is actually, how do you budget everything when you're always getting deposits randomly? Now this one is actually not that bad. I deposit every time I reach $100 on every single platform. All platforms except 𝕃𝕀𝕃𝕂 is free for deposit, so you don't have to pay a fee to get your money out. So anytime I see a balance over $100, I instantly deposit it. And how I have it work out is that every Monday I pay my bills for the week, and then as far as my rent goes, I set aside $300 every single week on Monday for my rent, and then I pay whatever existing bills that are going to be due that week as well. So that's kind of like how I do it. So maybe it's one day where I see $110 instantly deposited to my bank account, and then that same day I can see, you know, $150 instantly deposit. So that's pretty much how I do it. I don't keep a balance in any of these platforms. I know that Depop unfortunately does it to where they wait 10 days after the item has been delivered in order to like send out your money. So that's really aggravating, but it kind of keeps it easy, so I don't really have to go over there and like do the deposits. They kind of, you know, push out when they do. So there's that. Okay, so another one is scared to start listing on 𝕃𝕀𝕃𝕃 and Depop. Do you have any tips? Honestly, no. But I guess I could recommend that if you go on Depop, you can just kind of look around and see what the girls are selling. I personally started on Depop 4 years ago with just reselling my own personal items, and I noticed that it is Gen Z like heavy, so I like to curate the items that I list on there. I don't do anything special. I just list vintage pieces, and I make sure that I have a lot of keywords. I guess that would be a tip for Depop specifically, to have a lot of keywords, especially the ones that Gen Z are searching for. So they're the ones that are heavy into the cores. So I did 2 videos talking about different cores. So you can look at those or look around the internet and try to find things specific to those cores and make sure you put them in the listing on Depop. Another thing is, I would say a tip would be is to respond quickly. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I got. And then as far as 𝕃𝕀𝕃𝕃, tips would be to list your items really close to what you want to sell them for. For instance, I list my items that I want to sell for a minimum of $20 at $25. That way when the buyer sends me a $20 offer, I can instantly accept it. No offer that has ever come across my 𝕃𝕀𝕃𝕃 has went countered or denied. All of them have been accepted. So I do think that that may help me in the algorithm over there, where I'm always accepting any offers anybody send me. I do answer all questions quickly, but I don't really have any like specific tips for those platforms. I think it's, you know, pretty much the same across all platforms, is to be consistent, stay engaged, and like have good customer service. Okay, so another one is, what is one thing that will help you get to the next level of your business? Stop being lazy. Stop giving myself so much grace. I give myself too much grace because I do run my own business, and I do think that that has held me back quite a bit. As y'all probably can see in a, you know, a reseller vlog that's coming up. I don't do things that I don't feel like doing, which is a blessing and sometimes not a blessing. And I do think that if I could stay focused and make sure that I do what I say I'm gonna do, I definitely do think I could get further. But I take a lot of breaks, let's just say that. So yeah. All right, another one is, if you were listing for style from a yuck brand, do you include that in the title? Honestly, it depends. I'm so big on not being misled, so I personally actually put the brand in the listing regardless if it is like not the best brand. I purposely don't pick up Shein or like Alibaba or whatever those other small ones are. Anytime I do pick those up and I notice once I Google lens them, I will put them to the side to be redonated, because I just don't want to sell that type of fast fashion. That's like ultra fast fashion, and I don't want to participate in that. But if it's like Coldwater Creek or like, I don't know, some, no disrespect, but an old lady brand, and I'm trying to sell it to Gen Z, I will maybe leave the wording out of the title, but I would also take a photo of it when I take my photos, because I still don't want to mislead anybody. What bolo have you yet to find? Let's manifest it. I'll be honest, I want to find 𝕸𝔽𝔽𝕀𝕃𝕀𝕃. I want to find 𝕃𝕃𝔽𝔽𝕀𝕃𝕃. I want to find what else have I not found? 𝕹𝕌𝕊𝕀𝕃𝕀𝕃. And it's so many more brands that are like quiet that we don't really know about. But honestly, 𝕃𝕃𝔽𝕀𝕃𝕃 #1 and then 𝕸𝔽𝔽𝕀𝕃 and 𝕹𝕌𝕊𝕀𝕃𝕃. Those are the only ones I can think of right now, but I'm sure it's a lot that I have seen on my Instagram that I'm just like, man, please let me find those. How many items do you aim to source weekly? 100, actually. I aim to source 100 items weekly. That hasn't been happening in this month of November, but you know, what can you do? How long did it take you to replace your previous employment income with this? So my last job was in 2021. I was a supervisor at Frito-Lay, and I think I was making $21 an hour, and I was working the 5 days a week. I think my salary was like $43,000 if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 43,000. So I'll be honest, I think that amount annually I didn't start making until 2023. I know. So the first year, absolutely terrible. I didn't know my numbers, and I was going to regular thrift stores. 2022, I was also just trying to survive. I was pregnant the whole year, it felt like, and I just, you already saw how it was going on in those vlogs. So yeah, a lot of laziness. I feel like the beginning of the year 2022, I aimed really high, but no, I didn't meet my 2021 you know, salary until 2023. So there's that. All right, so the next one is, any tips for efficiency with processing your inventory? For me, processing my inventory is putting it into my spreadsheet and then steaming, photographing, measuring, and then listing. So, and of course having to put it away. I'll be honest, all you can do is really just find a groove that is going to work for you. For me, I find that, I mean, granted I don't have enough space in my studio, but getting it in and out quickly as possible. So I source that day, I list all of those items that same day, and then I package them in the little cellophane packaging, and then I put them in their designated bin. As far as efficiency, it has took me some time, and it has changed over the time, because before I used to have all of my inventory, not all, but at least about 80% of my inventory on hangers, and I absolutely loved it. But yeah, you just gotta find something that's gonna work for you. I don't really have any tips, I'm sorry. All right, the next one is, what shipping policies do you use on eBay, flat or calculated? Shipping policies, I don't really have any crazy shipping policies. I do have a $2 handling fee. And then as far as the flat or calculated, I do calculated. I try to stick to USPS grounds all the time because they do the 2 pounds. And for anything super heavy, I will go ahead and do priority, but I never do flat rate shipping. I see a lot of people do it, and I think they do it so they can get money on the back end, even if it's like $1, 50 cents, 25 cents. I don't really care to make money on shipping because I don't need extra coins. Anyways, can you share your listing process? Do you cross list or manual? So my listing process consists of me going to Poshmark first, uploading the photos that I just took, and you know, I build out my title. I do have a set structure. It's very simple. And honestly, I'm going to be coming out with a video with my listing really soon. I think I'm actually going to be filming that today, if I'm being honest. After I list to Poshmark, I will cross list it through Flip currently. I still have yet to go to Autoposher. But anyway, so I will import all of them into Flip, and then I will cross list them to Mercari and eBay, and then I will select a few that I feel like are going to be great on Depop, and I will also put those on there. Typically it's the more style-based pieces, more pieces that are geared for them. When I sourced them, I knew that these would sell on Depop, so I specifically just, you know, put pieces that I think that are going to sell to Gen Z on Depop. I think I only have like 200 items listed over there. But yeah, I use a service to cross list. I don't do it manually. What made you go into reselling? Honestly, I was a shopaholic back in the day, and I used to throw away my clothes or give them to my sisters, which wouldn't recommend. The throwing away is crazy work. Like, for me to spend all that money on a lot of the stuff and I just throw it away. I've always been a minimalist by heart because I moved a lot as a kid, so I just never really liked to have too much stuff. So I saw a girl on my Instagram. She was selling on Depop, and I clicked the Depop, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. She's selling her used clothes. Downloaded it, and I want to say within like 2 weeks I had quit my job at Lowe's, and I had, of course, saved up a little bit of money, so I didn't have a job for 2 months, I want to say, and I was doing the reselling. And at the time I didn't know that I was like enjoying it as much as I did, because I'm just like, oh, I'm just getting rid of stuff. And once the items that I had started to dwindle down to like maybe 5 or 10 out of the 100 that I had listed, I was like, I really love this. I love the money. I went on Reddit and I'm like, hey, how can I keep doing this? People's like, just go to a thrift store and buy clothes. And I was like, a thrift store? And that's where it all started back in 2021, summer of 2021, June 2021 to be exact. Nope, I take that back. June of 2020 is when I birthed my reselling career. I started reselling my own clothes February of 2020, but you know, I didn't get into reselling where I would go thrift the clothes and sell them until the summer. So yeah, that's what made me start. I feel like that's everybody's backstory. They literally start selling their own stuff. They realize, wow, this is lucrative, this is fun, I want to keep doing it, let me go to a thrift store. So there's that. What's your favorite and least favorite part of the job? Honestly, my favorite part, favorite, I guess, receiving the deposits. That's probably the best part of it. And then my least favorite, I feel like it changes as time goes on, but my least favorite now is cross-listing. I absolutely fucking hate it. I wish I don't know. That one is neck and neck with putting the inventory away. I absolutely hate putting inventory away now. Like, both of them are tied at least favorite. But yeah, the deposits, getting my deposits are my favorite. And then I'd probably say drafting the listings are also my favorite, because I love like the enjoyment of like building out how many more words I can stuff in this title to get somebody to buy it, you know. That's also fun. But yeah, those are my two favorite and my two least favorite. Advice for days you don't feel motivated. I'll be honest, I'm the worst person you can come to ask that question, because when I don't feel motivated, I actually don't work. I take full advantage of this being my job and I am the boss. So if I don't feel like working, I don't feel like working. And hot take, when I worked at all the other jobs that I worked at, I would call out of work if I didn't have the mental capacity to have conversations with people. So that's just always been me ever since I've been working, since I've been 16. If I don't feel like it, I am not going. And with me running my own business, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. I'm so sorry if you thought I was going to give you some motivational words. It's not happening. Take a break. When you don't feel motivated, take a break. Now, if this is lasting longer than 2 days, it's other things that's going on. But if this is happening 1 or 2 days, just take the break. Like, the work will see you when you get back. All right, the next one is hardest part, worst part of making YouTube videos. The hardest part, I would say, is aligning my mood with having to film a vlog. That's why I try to film them on Wednesdays, because Mondays are chaotic. Tuesdays is like a cute little downtime where I can just get myself like mentally prepared. And then Wednesdays is like, okay, prime example, this week I was supposed to film another video. I woke up and I didn't feel like it, but I absolutely needed to film that video, but I didn't feel like it. So the hardest part is actually filming when you are not in the mood, especially if you have to film. And the worst part of making YouTube videos, worst. What is the worst part of making YouTube videos? I don't think I have any. Because I actually, you know what, I'll take that back. I don't like the videos that I have to insert the clips of the item. I absolutely hate that. That is like the bane of my existence. But I know that it's helpful, so I do it. But I hate it. I hate having to get clips. It's aggravating. So yeah. All right, if you're earning on YouTube and reselling platforms were equal and needed D&D, which would go? I don't know what D&D is, but if your earnings and reselling platforms were equal, which will go? I'll be honest with you, this maybe 6 months ago I would have said, oh, I completely cut off reselling. Like, I wouldn't even care, because at the time I enjoyed making YouTube content. Like, I feel like it's fun because you get to film, especially the vlogs. I used to love making vlogs, but you film and then you edit and then you just put the video out and then you just get to do whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then now, y'all know that I've been going through like a transition in my life, so I feel like now I like the reselling more than the YouTube, only because with reselling I'm not required to talk. I literally can just go to the bins, and if nobody recognizes me, I don't have to talk to anybody. Go to the bins, you know, buy some clothes, come home, photograph them, list them, and I'm good, and I just wait for them to sell. But when you do YouTube, you have to get yourself together. You have to make sure you have content to film. And that's probably another annoying thing too, is that like you always get like in a creative rut with YouTube sometimes, and that's pretty much what I was going through. But yeah, at this very moment right now, I would choose reselling over YouTube if I made the same amount on each platform. So yeah. Anyways, what's one reseller task you hate to do? Back to the other one, I hate cross-listing. It's not enjoyable at all. Do you use Spreadsheet, Flipwise, or Reseller Genie? I use a spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet 3 years ago, and then this year it is perfect. I think I showed y'all before, but I'll probably pop it on the screen. It's very simple. Now, I don't know any formula, so I do everything manually, and I know y'all gonna come for me, but I don't mind it. It just kind of helps me know that everything is good because I manually did it. Okay, those are all the questions from Instagram. I don't know how long this video is so far, but let's go to my YouTube community. Do you and your son's father plan to get back together someday? No. If you would ask me 6 months ago, I would have been like, oh, I'm hopeful, you know, he was in therapy and all the fun things. But now we are both so happy with where we are, not being together and being co-parents, that I think that it would mess up what we currently have. And to be honest with you, I'm happy being single. I'm sure he's probably happy being single. Like, it's just easy, because I feel like on both ends, when you're in a relationship, there's a level of requirements that you have to meet, and sometimes you just don't feel like it. And yeah, so no, we're not going to get back together. Where do you find your stock photos? I just Google it or I look at the style code on the item. For the most part, when I can't find Actually, also, you can find stock photos by Google Lensing the item. So it's 3 different ways. One way is to Google Lens it, and sometimes the item will pop up with the stock photo and then also the description. Or if you go to the care tag, you can actually see the style number. You can just type that in with the brand, and then it'll pop up with that item, and naturally it'll have the stock photo. Or you can be like me, when neither one of those are working, you can literally just describe the item in Google, and I'd want to say maybe 7 times out of 10 that item will pop up, but you got to be really descriptive. So yeah, that's how I find stock photos. All right, I newly joined Depop and received an offer. I accepted the offer, but customer never purchased. Is this normal? It's incredibly normal over there, and it's absolutely a headache. I have heard that with Depop, they don't do binding offers because it's a lot of minors on that platform, and apparently it's illegal for minors to be like binded with offers. So that's what I heard. All right, what software are you using to cross list? Right now, I'm still using Flip. In a reseller vlog, I think I told y'all that I migrated to 𝕊𝕆𝕇𝕇. I have yet to do it. I'll be honest, I also am in beta of a new cross listing platform. So I'm still trying to see, but honestly, I might just need to do 𝕊𝕆𝕇𝕇. And honestly, I was waiting on telling y'all about 𝕊𝕆𝕇𝕇 just because I wanted to really use it to make sure before I even talk to y'all about it, but it don't really matter now. I'm just so tired of stringing y'all along, so I finally just told you. What bot do you use for Poshmark? I use Partial VA. I've been using Partial VA for like 3 years now, and I absolutely love it. When I do finally go to 𝕊𝕆𝕇𝕇, it's gonna kind of take away Partial VA. But I tried out Flip's, like when Flip was free, I tried out Flip's Poshmark thing, and I noticed a huge dip in my sales. I instantly ran back to Partial VA, and my platform is super steady over there. So that's one thing too that I'm like a little scared about, is to go to a new platform when it comes to Poshmark's bot, because I don't want it to be the same thing and then I've spent all this money, you know. So that's something that I'll have to consider. Is it worth cross listing to Depop with little sales? Honestly, it's really up to you. It takes me maybe like 30 seconds to cross list my items from, you know, Flip to Depop. So I don't mind it. I'm okay with getting about 10 sales a month over there. I feel like the more items I have listed, of course it will grow. But I personally feel like having your eggs in different baskets is the best thing you could do for your business. It's more eyes. I know I do watch Kaylee Elaine. I love her channel. And y'all know she is one of the co-owners of Resellers Edge University, which I absolutely love. I know that she recommends to just stick to a platform that has a lot of buyers, and then to also not spread yourself too thin, because then you can't really focus on the platforms. So I guess it's really up to you on how you work. I've been cross-listing since the beginning of my reselling career, so I'm always going to be pro cross-listing. It's different for everybody, because a lot of people talk about how they make no sales on Mercari. I make 30 sales a month over there, which is it's not a lot, but it's still enough for me to keep going to the platform, because I'm making $1,000 over there. So it just, it's different for everybody. So you'd really have to go to Depop and look around and see, is the things that people are selling similar to the things that you sell? And if it isn't, then it wouldn't be a good platform. And the reason why I spread myself to 4 platforms is because I do understand that, you know, eBay has the most buyers or whatever. I feel like it's a different buyer base on each platform. Personally, I think eBay, of course, does have a lot more buyers because it is overseas and all the things. But I feel like it's more mature people over there. And then for Poshmark, it is more millennials and Gen X. Is it Gen X, I want to say? And then Mercari is probably a mesh of everybody, but cheap people. And then Depop is more so for, like, you know, Gen Z and like more, you know, style based and stuff, you know, trendy and all of that. So you really have to figure out the things that you're selling and what would work best for what platform. Yeah, sorry for the whole tangent, but you know, it's definitely dependent on us. All right, hi Gloria. I love watching your videos. Are reselling in YouTube your only source of income to support your family? If so, how long did it take to get to that point? Christina, thank you. You're very sweet. So as far as reselling in YouTube, yes. Honestly, it wasn't until really the beginning of this year where I started making like okay money from YouTube. I literally was getting $150 payouts for like the past 2 years. So each month, by the way. And it was enough to get my nails done. It was enough to get my eyebrows done. It was enough to get my toes done, enough to get a little snack. So I was really doing it out of the love for making content and the hopes of one day making more money on YouTube. And now, I just got a really good payout of over $1,000, and I know that's still not a lot of money to some, but that actually helps me to be able to put more money in my savings account than what I was already putting in. So we're at 30 minutes. All right, so my camera just like tried to die on me, but like I was trying to say is that I get a kickback from affiliate links. So I get a kickback from the Amazon storefront that I have up there. So anytime you guys buy something, I literally get nickels and pennies, but I still get something. And then Resellers Edge University, I get commission on when you guys click my link and when you guys continue to, you know, use it each month. And then I also get affiliate money from Pasha VA. Is that the only one? I think those are the only ones, which is not a lot. So that's it. I ain't gonna lie. Let me not downplay it, but it's enough. It's enough to where I could also put that in my savings account as well. But I don't really use those, the affiliate money and then the YouTube money for my like bills. I use my reseller money. So when y'all see me do my recap, that money is paying my bills. I can literally cut out YouTube and the affiliate money, and reselling would be still paying my bills for me and my family. I'll be honest with you, the first year of reselling, like I said, I didn't really know my numbers. I was doing terrible. But the second year I fell ill to pregnancy, so my son's dad was financially really taking care of our household, and me for the most part. So my money was really just going to my own personal bills, to my dad, and then his money was going to, of course, his bills, his debt, but then also to our household and also to our groceries and all the other things. If I needed anything, he'd also pay for that for me. So it really wasn't until this year. Like I feel like this year has really catapulted me to a new era. But yeah, it wasn't until this year, because me and him broke up in November of 2023. Yeah. It was 2023. And he continued, because we still paid my sister rent living with her. We weren't living for free, so he was still paying that up until January for me. So we had broken up in November and he paid it up until January, and February is when I, through the grace of God, you know, start to get an influx of money. When I reflect, like, it's crazy how life works, but we're not going to get into that. I'll talk about that in a recap of 2024. But it wasn't really until February of this year where my money paid all of my bills and some. I have another question. How did you go about finding a CPA that knows about small business, i.e. reselling business? Just Google, baby. You just got to get on Google, and then once you find somebody that is somewhat similar to what you're looking for, you call them and then you ask them questions. So yeah, you hard-headed, because I did say no questions, but it's okay. It's okay. You my girl. So yeah, what would be your last meal? That's a great question. My oldest sister, her baked mac and cheese, the best thing since sliced bread. She made it years ago, and that was the first time I'd ever tried baked macaroni and cheese. Love that. So that would be one of the meals. My mom's fried chicken, amazing. And then nothing but cake. They're also good. I'll do red velvet. It's another one that they had, I can't remember. And then a drink would be a Dr. Pepper, and then I want some butter pecan ice cream, and then I think that'd be it. Very simple. Honestly, I don't eat enough food to to enjoy it. I'm more of a snacker than anything, but if I had to be satiated, those would be the items that I would want. And the next question is, how do you define success in life? That's a great question. Success in life specifically, I would say to be detached, to be grateful. I think that's the only thing I can think of, because I'm trying to implement it in a way of thinking like, okay, what would make me personally feel like I have succeeded in life? And it would literally to have no attachments to anything. And then it would be to be grateful. So yeah, that's my answer. If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be and why? Girl, this is hard because two people that I love so dearly would, I guess I would say my cousin. I had an older cousin that we were really close, and she passed away in a car accident before we could hang out. We had made plans 6 months before, you know, and so it would be her. It would be her. She was so fun. Hi Gloria, thank you so much for all the quality content you provide. My question is, before I respond, thank you Maggie, you're so sweet. But my question is, have you ever had a return request on Depop and how did you handle it? Yes, I have actually, and I was angry. It was documented in a vlog over a year ago, I want to say. I had bought these shoes from the bins and they were the ugliest things I've ever seen, but they were trendy. They were like some ugly chunky shoes and they were vintage. They were in excellent condition. She received them. Mind you, she paid like $60 some for them, probably $70 after fees and all of the stuff. And she said that they fell apart. She had wore them and they fell apart. Now at the time I didn't know much about dry rotting. So my natural instinct when people accuse me of something, I automatically think that they're lying, which is probably not a good trait to have, but it works out because then you can like be really good at deciphering things. But anyways, and I wanted her to show me pictures, but I had realized at that point they seemed to be honest, and they just was really sweet. Like I feel like a lot of people when they do these types of things, they're rude to you. I'm assuming because they're upset, I don't know, but she was just so nice that I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and refund you. So I really thought about it because I had to think like, okay, is this item worth even bringing back? And it wasn't, because let's just say she was right and the item was crumbled up or whatever the case is, and I paid $12 to get it shipped back. Now I just wasted $12 to get this shit back because I gotta throw it in the trash just because I'm trying to inconvenience her, one, and then also because I think she's lying. Because people do that on Depop. They will say something's wrong with the item, they want a refund. Now they have your item and the money. So that happened on Depop, and I just refunded her money, and I just kind of took it as a loss because the shoes cost like what, $2-3 at the bins. I'd rather be out of $2-3 than, you know, $12. So I just refund them, depending on, you know, if you decipher that they could be telling the truth or not. All right, would you ever consider doing a collab video or series with some of the resellers you respect? Mention, i.e. what Megan likes, Freestyle by Ash. Thanks for the opportunity for questions. You are so stunning and got me constantly laughing out loud, girl. First of all, carrying Kathy, you're amazing. But I don't know, I never really thought about it. I know some years ago, Murray Life, we were supposed to, but I allowed my anxiety to like stop that from happening. But it was just something so, you know, small as we both buy the same mystery box and then we just, you know, of course, shout them out. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd definitely do it. I just wouldn't know how to go about doing a collab, you know. I would be down because those are my girls, okay? What is it, in a club? We're all fans. One is, what would be your business model if you didn't have bins in your city? Girl, to get a real job. The way these prices are set up, I don't think that it's doable to be a full-time reseller making decent amount of money, because since I do live in a city where it's big, it would be too hard. Like, even when I go to the thrift store, sometimes, I haven't been in a while, but if I go to the thrift stores, not only are the prices high, but the competition is also high because this is a big city. So yeah, I definitely find a real job. What's your favorite way to relax after a long reselling day? It is grabbing my favorite snack or comfort food and getting in my pajamas and then getting on TikTok and scrolling and laughing. That is the best way that I relax after a long reselling day. That's actually what I do every single day after I get off of work. I literally get on TikTok. TikTok fills my dopamine cup. Hey Gloria, thanks so much for all you share with us. Business question. First of all, thank you, Yolanda, for addressing me. I appreciate you. Okay, so business question, how do you deal with lack of motivation? She asked a few questions, so I'll answer it as we go. How do I deal with lack of motivation? I don't. I give in automatically. I'm so weak in the knees for lack of motivation. I literally will get my favorite comfort food. That's why my back is big. But I get my favorite comfort food and I get on TikTok and lay in my bed when I'm not motivated. And some days after laying in bed and eating my favorite snacks and laughing, within 2 hours, the motivation somehow fills me back up and I can get back to work. But yeah, I give myself grace. That's really what it boils down to. I give myself grace. I don't work myself to death, and I take a break when I need a break. That's what you should do. Is there a certain method, website, tool you use to keep track of trending keywords? I'll be honest with you, it isn't. I just go by with what I know and what I hear. Sometimes I do watch, not sometimes, I do watch other resellers, and maybe they'll say something and it'll spark something in me, and I will, you know, go maybe do a really quick Google and just kind of soak in some very quick knowledge on the item. So I use, you know, the people around me, I guess, my online coworkers, some of the things that they say, some of the info that they provide. And then I also, of course, have Resellers Edge University, and they also do like deep dives of certain keywords and, you know, cores and stuff like that. I've done core deep dive videos, so I use a lot of those keywords that I learned about on my own. And then I also have a, I'll pop it on the screen, also have a keyword list that I actually use, not as often as I should, but it's a really good list for tagging your like Poshmark specifically. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I don't have time to do any additional research, so that is what I stick to. All right, what are the marketing strategies that you've employed to get visibility to your closet? Keywords, 1000% keywords. I don't market, I don't like, you know, do the whole shouting out on my Instagram or nothing like that. It's never that important. But yeah, keywords is the best type of marketing you could ever do. All right, anyways, personal. If you move to a 2-bedroom apartment, will you turn one into an inventory room, or will it be a room for your baby? I know he's little now and doesn't really need his own room yet, but I'm just curious. Great question. So I'll be honest with y'all. I was gonna do something kind of fun and funky in my 2-bedroom apartment. Well, let me answer the question first. So no, my son is not gonna get a room. He is a Velcro baby still. He's not really a baby, he's a toddler. But I know that if I put him in a room, he's just gonna come to my room and I'm just gonna let him. So right now with him only about to be 2, he's not even 2 yet. Well, by the time this video comes out, no, he's not gonna be 2 yet. So in my personal opinion, him being at the age of 4, I feel like that's when him needing his own room would be like a great thing. But since I am not with his dad, I have him half, you know, the days. I just don't think that it would be wise of me to have a room where he's not in it for half the week. But in the future, if I get a house or just like a townhome or just a larger space where I can get a 3-bedroom, 1000%. Or the day that I decide that I don't want to resell anymore, he'll take the room. But going back to what I was saying, I plan on converting one of the bedrooms to a living room, and then the other bedroom is going to be our like our bedroom area. So the bedroom is definitely going to be where we sleep. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe sleep only, and then the living room is going to be in a bedroom, and it's going to be his play area as well. So it's going to be our lounge room, and then the living room is going to be the storage, and then the dining area is going to be my office. I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do it that way or put everything in like a room, but I think realistically the living room tends to be a little bit bigger than a bedroom, so I would prefer that. But that's just where I'm at right now. I haven't, you know, been looking at any places where I walk it and all of that to know if it'll fit what I envision. But yeah, my son is not getting a bedroom at the age of 2. He still sleeps in the bed with me, but even when I do move into the 2-bedroom, I will buy him a bed and try to train him to sleep in his bed. But you know, we'll do that later. All right, next question. How long were you and your son's father together, and why did you break up? Have you ever been married? Yes, I'm nosy. Okay, so first question, how long were we together? We were together for 7 years, which is crazy because 7 years is the year of completion, which I think is very interesting, that we broke up after 7 years. All right, and then why did we break up? I actually finally talked about it on my Instagram like a week or 2 ago, but I know y'all probably get tired of me talking about this, but I was really fucking depressed, and I was going through postpartum depression after I had my son, and it just kind of got to a boiling point where I just felt like he was not there for me emotionally. And me being the Virgo that I am, I would never require something out of somebody that would be too much for them. So what I was asking of him was not hard at all, and I quickly realized that he was actively choosing not to do it, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And of course, you know, when I reflect on it, I understand that when we were together, he was never an emotional person, so that's my fault. But I just assumed that the reason that I was going through what I was going through is because I had our baby. You could show up for me, and he didn't. So I felt like I don't want to be with anybody that can't show up for me during a really tough time in my life where I sacrificed, you know, because I feel like, you know, we don't talk about it enough, but mothers sacrifice a lot when they have babies versus the man. So yeah, I broke up with him because he was not emotionally there for me during postpartum depression. Okay, and then the last question is, have you ever been married? No, I haven't. I feel like in the South, being married is like crazy, because like my dad, I kid y'all not, for the past 4 years he had been on my son's dad to marry me. Like, why haven't you married her? Why? And I think I maybe flopped on my end, because I always told him like, well, I'm not pressed to get married. Like when I would talk to my ex-boyfriend, I'm not pressed to get married, like it's not that serious. But after I had our kid and I was comparing my life to a few resellers that I was watching where they were married and they had their babies, I started to feel some type of way, and I'm just like, okay, am I not worth marrying, you know? So that was something that I was dealing with too. Gloria, you are so beautiful. Thank you for your videos. You are so kind, Grady's mom. When you started watching my channel many months ago, you brought a certain type of like warmth that I needed. So I appreciate you. I'm gonna give you a virtual hug. But anyways, my question is, if you didn't do reselling for a living, what would you be doing? I will be honest with you. I absolutely do not know. I don't enjoy a lot of things, but I guess I'd just be working a regular job, probably a supervisor somewhere. You know what? I take that back. Where I'm at now mentally, I think I want to be a receptionist, making a lot of money though. I don't want to be on a low level. I want to make a lot of money. I feel like I would love to be scheduling appointments. I can be somebody's assistant. I would love being somebody's assistant, but I want to make a lot of money. I would like to do that side of it where I am organizing things. Or an interior. No, I can't be no interior designer. I would want to do something like that. I feel like that would spark joy in me, is to organize things. So like keeping scheduling and things like that. So that's the route. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I would do. I love that aspect. Also, where would your dream place to live be if not where you live now. I'd always wanted to go to Germany, but that was like from childhood and early adulthood. But now, dream, I'm gonna be honest, I don't get out much. I don't explore much. So I don't really know. I don't even know how to answer that question. All right, hey Gloria, my questions. Do you ever get bored with reselling and doing the same thing every day? Absolutely, yes. I get bored every single day. So yeah. Do you plan on reselling for long term, or do you plan to transition into something else? I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna most likely resell as long as I can until it's just like too much Shein and H&M and Universal thread. Yeah, because I love the freeness of being my own boss. Does YouTube supplement your income enough that it makes up for the slow reselling days? I guess, I don't know. I mean, yeah, okay. Push coming to shove, I guess I could take some money out, but I have such a huge margin of my bills being paid and all the spending money that I have, and then all of the money that I put off into my savings accounts. So I don't really have to touch that money because I am good with the margin, but of course that is going to change once I move into a bigger apartment. Do you plan to stay in Dallas long term? Honestly, my son is here, so I have no choice. But ideally, I would absolutely want to leave, but of course I would have to leave and go to a good Ben's location. I know over the summer I wanted to move to Austin, and I even had the conversation with my son's dad, and he was willing to do the drive and stuff, but I wasn't willing to do the drive, and just the logistics of it. It was, for me personally, I didn't want to do the weekly that we were doing, so we're doing, he has him half the week, I have him half the week. It was going to be more long-term, like monthly, because I just thought that that would make more sense than doing, you know, the back and forth. But I'll be completely honest with you, if I didn't have a kid, I would have left. I would have been left. I would have been moved to Austin. But there's that. Anyways, what do you do for fun or in your downtime outside of working? Honestly, I hang out with my sister and my mom. Occasionally we will go out to just like eating out, which is not the best, but eating out. We'll go to the park. I'll take my son to the park, go on trips and stuff like that. We used to take a lot of trips. I tried to do that this summer. I did take some trips, but yeah, I pretty much do that. I'm very, 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 very low-key and very boring. I am the friend that wants to go to the museum. I'm the friend that want to take painting classes. I'm the friend that wants to do chill things. I'm not the friend that you want to turn up with. Now I can, but I don't want to. That's the thing. I'm in a different, I don't know, what is it, transition in my life that I don't really care to do, you know, the things. Do you have many friends? Absolutely not. This kind of goes back to what I was saying about detachment. My mom moved us around a lot. Literally, I was born in Louisiana, was there for 2 years, moved to California for 20 years, and then I moved to Texas as a young adult in 2016. And I am not like a loser. I do make friends everywhere that I go. I just don't care to keep the friendship. It's literally one person that I have stayed in contact with since the inception of our friendship. And she's probably, I hate to even say this out loud, but she's probably the only person that I care to remain friends with out of all the friends that I've had, just because like she the real deal, you know what I'm saying? She was the only one that was honest with me about motherhood, and I thank her for it. Her name is Josie, okay? I adore her. She is literally, she's my bestie. And to be honest with y'all, all Capricorns I instantly click with. Instantly. I've never met a Capricorn that I didn't like. Never, okay? It's like my spirit instantly meshes with Capricorns. But anyways, I don't have friends outside of my sister and my mom. So I do sound like a loser, but I don't care. I feel like I have struggled with being too empathetic to people. So friendships, their problems become my problems, and as time went on, I realized that people emotionally dump on me too much, and in the time that I needed to do the dumping, nobody was there for me. So I literally just so yeah, no friends. I actually also don't want to make any new friends. I'm happy with the friends that I have. It's very low maintenance. But anyways, all right, my girl, dressed by Tay. Yeah, I have a few questions, if that's okay. Been waiting for you to do one of these. Have you ever contemplated going back to a regular 9-to-5 job? Yes, I have, when I was pregnant. Again, like I told y'all, my son's dad was quite literally financially carrying me. And reselling just looked a lot different in 2022. I feel like as the year goes on, it's looking different every single year. But yeah, I definitely did contemplate it. No time soon, I'll be honest, unless the bins are just like ass every single day and it gets to a point where I'm only able to pick up like 5 pieces, then I'll probably start looking at job applications or whatever, but not at this very moment. How do you deal with burnout and dealing with just not wanting to work? Goes back to what I was saying. I don't work when I don't feel like it. I want to say it took until the summertime for me to get out of the headspace of like, we gotta work through the lack of motivation. We gotta work through whatever you're feeling. This is more important than you taking a break. Done. Y'all saw over the summer where I literally just chopped that tree down. I take breaks whenever I feel like it, and I do not care, because who gonna check me? Nobody. It's my business. So if I don't feel like listing, I'm not gonna list. If I don't get the 100 items out that week, who cares? Like, life goes on. Yeah, I might be short an extra $200, but who cares? I mean, it's not that I don't need it, let me not say it like that, but like, it's $200, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have any idea of the amount of inventory you want to have in your stores? Or do you plan, I get what you're saying. I'm not gonna even try to read that again because it just confused me. I don't want to grow. I'm actually considering scaling it back, just so I can make sure that all of these bins can fit into my apartment, my new apartment. So right now I'm at 2,100, and honestly, realistically, I would love to be at a smooth like 1,800, maybe. And it's so hard to decipher that, because if I'm, you know, listing 400 items a month, I'm selling about 250 a month. I want to get to a place and I'm making 6K a month. So it's like, if I lower that number, then I'm gonna lower my profits, and this amount each month sustains my life. So I'm just kind of like, so that's been something I've been going back and forth with, but I'm probably not gonna go down. Oh, she said, yay, Q&A sesh. Looking forward to it. If money wasn't an issue and you were able to hire 1 or 2 assistants for your business, what task would you assign to them and why? Girl. I would probably just hire 1 assistant and I would actually have them do the shipping, do the processing, maybe even photographing. And then I would source, draft, and list. So yeah, I would delegate photographing, shipping, and inventory, and of course keeping my storage unit in order. Okay, so yeah, I would give them literally half the task, which would be so fucking nice. Oh, and then the why part. The why is because I absolutely hate inventorying. I don't really hate shipping, but I hate having to look for the items. And I know y'all are gonna say, well, get your inventory system together. Mind your business, okay? But yeah, I would give it to them because I don't prefer those. As far as the photographing, I don't really hate photographing. I just don't want to do it. I just want to source and then list. It would be so nice to just source the items, then wake up the next morning and everything is already put into Poshmark, and all I got to do is, I'd actually list a lot more if that was like the route. I would probably double my listings, because at that point I'm just like, okay, what else am I doing? I most likely source for double the time that I'm sourcing, and then, you know, list double. But that would be great. I think I heard one of your videos that you were looking to try different cross-listing tools. What time frame are you looking to make the switch, and what steps are you taking to prepare for it? You're awesome. of course it was going to be auto posture, and it still is auto posture. I'm still just gotta find the time. I know I can make the time, but girl, I'm tired. Okay, I'm already stressed. But anyways, so the time frame, honestly, it was actually supposed to be November. The beginning of November is when I was supposed to have it, because what I've learned from the auto posture that people have already said, you have to import them, and then you have to essentially kind of like check off, okay, I still have this, I want to import it. It's not you click a button and then all of them just gets in there. No, you have to do it one by one, and I have 2,100 listings. So in my viewpoint, I'm like, when am I going to have time to sit there and be like, okay, this one's good, this I don't, you know. So if it wasn't like that, then I think I would have been on there much sooner. But I still want to move to it, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even want to give time frames anymore, because I've been talking about this for like 3 months now, maybe even more, okay, at this point. So yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all can go and look and see if it's something that y'all want to do. But yeah, that's it, y'all. This video is definitely over an hour. Hopefully editing Gloria can get it under. I don't think I'm gonna bother with cutting it in half, just because, do I don't know. Let's just put it all in one, and then y'all can just listen to it in the background. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.